Okay, last time we looked at the idea of document objectives and the messages that convey certain ideas through the documents. We said that every document in marom has to have some primary objective, and these are broken down into three: either create an image or an impression, as we saw last time, or it's to persuade somebody of some point, or it's to motivate them to do something, usually followed by what we call a call to action that gets them to do something like download a program or try something for free or learn more. Okay, today we're going to go on, and we looked at more images and impressions last time. Now we're going to look at some of the others and see some examples. This is an example of an objective which is a motivational objective. As you can see very clearly, it has a few buttons, what we call buttons or calls to actions, that try to get people to do something. For example, watch the video or learn more. And then there's even other things you can do where you can click on obvious different tabs and find out more information, etc. But the main idea is the call to actions that you see here, and that's I'm not going to look at the whole website right now, but the main idea is that it is trying to motivate you to learn more, or to watch the video, or ultimately to download the program and of course to buy it. The motivations are, we said, are really two main categories of motivations. One is greed, and the other one is fear. The idea of greed meaning that you are offering the viewer something that they want. It could be status, or it could be money. It might be some kind of advancement in their career. Or some other aspect, maybe comfort and ease, and finding things just easier and nicer. All of these things are enticements to people to motivate them to ultimately to buy the product. Okay? In this one, we are enticing people with a statement that software that makes you a faster, more effective writer. Okay, so that appeals to people's imagination. Well, I'm going to write faster, I'm going to be more effective. And then it gives the three details here, which are basically benefits of visualize your ideas and things like that. Organize easily by dragging and dropping right in the fully integrated word processor. Everything looks really great, and it's all exciting, and it makes the reader feel that they're going to get something if they follow through on some of these calls to actions. Try it for free. Learn more, those are the two calls to action. Even watch a demo, a third one. And then you've got the buy risk-free with 90-day no-hassle guarantee, which is a typical thing that goes along with a motivational type of copy that reassures people that you won't be risking anything. It's no risk. Okay? So this is an example of a underlying message that really is holding out an enticement of what people really want, okay? Giving them to try to motivate them to download the product, or to check it out, and to ultimately to buy it, because it's what they want. They want it faster, they want to write faster, they want to be a more effective writer, that type of thing. Fear is also another motivational aspect. Certainly you can scare people also in the fact, first of all, they can be scared into thinking that maybe they'll lose some of those things we mentioned under greed. They can also be scared by thinking that there's some kind of threats out there that are going to get them. For example, this one, for software that's antivirus, stop both today's and tomorrow's online threats. Okay, this is typical for antivirus software, or for insurance. For anything that plays on people's fears that there might be a disaster waiting out there. As it says in the bullet list, keeps you safe, protects you, stops both today's and tomorrow's crime threat, or online threats rather, blocks infected and dangerous downloads. Anyway, the idea is they're playing on people's fears of dangerous downloads and threats, and protection from media scams, that type of thing. That's obviously going to work for people who are afraid of those kind of things, and therefore that's another strong motivation to click the buy now button. Typically you don't have a buy now button so quickly on any of these websites, and the reason is because it's a little too soon to get people to just buy until they really understand everything they're getting. But in this case, we're dealing with Norton Antivirus, which is a very, very old and very, very well-known program. It's like Microsoft, and therefore, since it's so well-known and it's been out there for many, many years, they just assume that people know what it's all about, and they don't have to explain it too much, and you can just buy now. You even have a download a free trial right underneath it, but notice that's kind of a more muted button. The main one is the big yellow one, buy now, because most people who have heard of it probably went to the website just to get it anyway, and therefore they don't really need too much in the way of understanding what it does or anything like that. Here's the objective, what we call persuasion. Okay, this kind of document or this Marcom media would be for the purpose of persuading someone that your technology or your solution is the best one. Okay, in other words, it's a white paper. Okay, and a white paper discusses issues in a more objective way, or at least it purports to be more objective. It lays out the facts and it tries to explain things that, there's some controversy and some people believe A and some people believe B. They contrast the two or three different ideas, and then they show that the leading one, the one that makes logical sense, is solution C or B or whatever it is. And then what they do is they lead you on and into the paper and explain all the benefits of taking one of those solutions and all the downside of the other ones, and at the end you are then presented with kind of a decision to make, and that is, well, maybe we should go with solution C. And if it's well constructed, the white paper will lead you to you make the decision yourself. You say, oh, well, it's obvious that this is the best way to do things. They don't necessarily sell the product, okay? In fact, a good white paper should really not overtly sell the product, because then it destroys the trust, the believability of the paper. Instead, it should sell you the solution, the approach, and then you, on your own, will come to the conclusion, oh, well, these people's products incorporate that very solution, and therefore that would be the best thing to use. Okay, so it kind of waits for the reader to come to his own conclusions and to just go with it. In this white paper, you can see, first of all, it has a long title. Long, specific, more technical titles is typical of a white paper because it wants to sound objective and impartial and trying to show you all sides of the issues. For example, enhanced HDPA mobility performance, quality, and robustness for voice over IP service. The idea is that it's going to give you a particular solution based on this HSDPA mobility, and it's going to explain why it's important. They actually have an abstract just like a scientific paper. That being said, I just want to, we'll go back to white papers in depth later in a later lecture, but I don't want to give you the impression that white papers should be written as scientific papers. It shouldn't be written in a scientific style, which is usually meant only for other scientists. This is meant for a wider group. It could be people just interested in buying the product for their company. It might be financial people who are not technologically so adept, so understanding of technology. But it is showing the issues in a clear way, and it even, in this sense, they even give an abstract, which is kind of something that goes with a scientific paper. Not all of them do that. I actually don't like the idea of putting an abstract at the beginning, even though sometimes it's being requested of me, because I think it kind of puts people off who are not exactly scientific minded so much. But anyway, that's the basic idea. Okay. How do you determine the objectives of your document? Is it going to be persuasive? Is it going to be mainly motivational, or is it going to be mainly to foster an image? Okay. Well, first of all, you have to determine for whom the document is intended. Who is going to be reading the document? Is it intended for buyers? People that are out there looking for already looking for a solution, or looking for something that your product offers, and therefore it should be maybe just mainly motivational to try to get them to just go for it. Is it going to be for people who are just exploring the ideas and looking and trying to figure out what's going on, to try to figure out which solution they should go for? And then it would be more on the persuasive level, especially if there's controversy in the market about the best product or the best solutions for something. And then, of course, in certain instances, image making is the main thing. Creating an image that captures people's imagination, and they just got to have something because it's just all exciting, and that works more on the greed idea. Another question is, where does it fit into the technology adoption model? If you're going for innovators, for example, the early adopters, they oftentimes will be more interested in white papers or in certain documents that address their curiosity about different issues in technology and how your solution solves them. If you're going for the late adopters, they will be less interested in technology, and they just want to know the highlighted features and mainly the benefits. In fact, the benefits. Why do I need this product? What will it do for me personally, or for my company? Okay, and that is very important for the later adopters, which are a very, very large group, of course, and contribute a lot to the financial success of the product. So it's very different kind of objectives. The other thing is, what's the document's relationship to existing or future documents? It could be that your company already has a ton of technical papers and that type of thing that convince people that their solution is the proper one, is the right one, is the most efficient one. Maybe it's written by the technologists in the company mainly, but maybe it just doesn't. You don't have enough of the motivational type thing because nobody knows how to write that, or maybe you don't have enough of the image creation thing because nobody knows how to really create an exciting image of the product to capture the imagination and get people to want it. Okay. Now, in order to really come up with objectives, you need to formulate them in a more specific way than what we've been doing. Up until now, I just showed you the three main categories of objectives, but that's not good enough to say, well, this document is going to motivate, or this document is going to persuade. Persuade of what? When you formulate the objective, you will need to formulate it in such a way that it shows the whole thing all the way. For example, to motivate prospects to download a free demo. You specifically say what you're going to motivate them for. It's not to buy it. It's not just to try it out on the website, but it's to download a free demo. Okay, that's something specific. Or to persuade telecom executives that HSDPA is the best solution. Here again, it's something specific. The persuasion, you don't just say to persuade telecom executives, but you're saying of what? That this particular thing is the best solution, and you could even get more specific, perhaps, that as opposed to, who knows what other solutions there are. Or it's another example for the image one, to create a brand image that Cadillac is an expensive, high-end luxury car for those who want status. That's the specific objective. Okay, the general objective is just to create a brand image of Cadillac. Okay, but what brand image? So now the reason why you would put things in a specific expression is that you want to be able to discuss these things with others in your company or with your client. In other words, your client wants you to create a new brand image or something, or maybe the client doesn't know what he wants. He just needs markup. He doesn't have an idea what kind of markup he needs. So you come up with some ideas, and you come up with specific ones like this that create a brand image of whatever the product is, as an expensive high-end luxury, so and so. Of course, it will have to go according to their positioning, when they will tell you how they want to position their product and who their audience is, who their market is, and then you would come up with some of these. You would come up with alternatives and a long list of these specific objectives, and let your client decide what's more important and what they want. Once they see it written down, then they can discuss it between themselves and between you and the others in the company and come to some conclusions, because what they determine that they want is, of course, going to cost money. You're going to be doing it for a price, and it could cost several months of work, and therefore they need to know what they're getting, okay, and what they're trying to achieve, what the objectives are. You can't just go out there with a buy now type of brochure or website and say, okay, I'm going to have a web page and you're going to have a buy now button on there, when maybe what you really need is a white paper, or maybe what you need is to download a free demo just to get to see what the product is and how it works. Okay, there are many different things along the way. Defining a target is another very important thing. Who is this document going to? Who's going to be reading? Are they going to be financial people? Will it be people who are actually going to be using the product, engineers and high-tech people? Will it be people who are not technical? Maybe if somebody's driving a Jeep or a car, it doesn't have to be anybody who knows anything more than just the turn on the ignition. Okay, in HighTech you have typical message types that just occur again and again. This is discussed in the PDF, and I just want to mention them here. You have technology leadership, which is the idea that your product is got more, the better technology, or is the cutting edge technology, the one out front, as opposed to all the others. It's a typical one for HighTech. It will work even if you're a little startup, just starting out. Because even if you're little and you haven't sold anything yet, but you still may have just come up with, or your company has come up with an incredible idea, incredible little invention, which you could say is a technology leader. You're a technology leader. It might sound funny for a little company, but there's no way of checking this. There's no leadership prize that's given to people in technology. You can say you're a technology leader if you really believe that your technology is superior and has really contributed something new in the marketplace. Okay, so even though you're small, you could still say this. If you want to go to the market leadership message, that kind of message is going to have to be for a big company that really is a market leader. Don't try to say you're a market leader if you're a small company who hasn't sold anything yet, or have only sold a few things. A market leader is somebody who has been out there for a while and has really a large share of the market. Again, you don't have to be exactly, right on if you're the absolute leader or one of the top ones, or, Microsoft is a market leader, Oracle is a market leader, SAP is a market leader. Which one is the market leader? It doesn't matter. You can say you're the market leader. It doesn't matter because it's one of those, and no one can actually check to see exactly which one is in the absolute lead. Okay, features and benefits is another important aspect of another important message. Emphasizing the outstanding features of your product and the benefits. The benefits are what those features confer to the individual, how they make a difference in life. I mean, you can say that you have the fastest computer in the world, but who cares? What will it do for you? Well, maybe it will run any game you want. Maybe it will allow you to compile programs quicker and you can do your job faster, and it will put your company out in front. It can do many things, but the benefits are important, and because they translate the features, which are just outstanding aspects of something, they translate those things into the practical the practical aspects of why you need it, what it does for you. People really buy things because of benefits, not because of features. But you should balance between features and benefits, because even though people buy benefits, they still want to kind of know what features are backing it up to make it credible. Otherwise, they don't believe it. Company strengths is another major message type, and that just means that your company is stable, you've been out there for a while, maybe you're listed on the stock market, on NASDAQ, that type of thing. You are maybe associated with some bigger companies, maybe you supply, or you've been working with Microsoft, or you're a big supplier for Apple or whatever. Those give your company an image of stability, and a brand image is important for that, where you get, people will trust your brand because they trust you'll be around in a few years. If you don't have that kind of trust, people will be wary about buying into your company and buying your product, because maybe in a few years you won't even be around to service it. There won't be a next version because you go out of business. So therefore, when people buy high-tech products, they are investing a lot more than just the money for the product. They're also investing their future in it, and therefore company strength is an important message to reassure the buyer that you're going to be out there and you're going to be growing, and you'll be there for many years to service them and take care of them, and there's no problem with that. Here's an example of market leadership copy. This one, the underlying message is the market leadership. It's not so underlying, it's pretty clear. In the second paragraph, you've got this thing: as the market leader in enterprise application software, we help companies of all sizes and industries run better. Okay, so they declare themselves the market leader. SAP really is. They've been around a long time. As they see it here, they have 251,000 customers. Okay, so I mean, that's a lot of customers for these large databases and enterprise resource systems that they sell. Here's one for company strength. This is actually a very big company as well now. It's an Israeli company, and they originally made toolbars, and then they got into mobile applications, and they have a program that helps you make a mobile application, and they're like over $1 billion. But here, the idea of company strength, as they say in the second paragraph, well, we're proud to say that we're not the only ones we know of. That we're the only ones we know of, so to reinvent themselves, right? Our brilliant people are hard working, creating the future of connected digital experiences. If we don't make money right away, they say that's fine. In fact, it's to be expected. We have the ability to fund our imaginations, and they will take us to places we haven't even dreamed of yet. Okay, so the underlying message is that we're big, we're so amazing, and we're so brilliant that we don't even care about making money. Of course they do, but it sounds good, and we don't even mind if we don't make money at the beginning, because we don't need it that much, and we're say these underlying currents make you feel like, wow, this company is just like so beyond everything, and there are all these brilliant people that are just willing to get into a new area that they haven't been in yet. Technology leadership, this is a clear one. Announcing new Spark servers with the world's fastest microprocessor. I mean, that kind of says it all. There's Larry Ellison declaring that he's got the world's fastest microprocessors. Well, you can't. You can't pass that one up. That's pretty clear. What the benefits of it are, I don't know. But it's the fastest. Maybe I don't want the fastest. Maybe I want the most reliable. Maybe I want the one that I can program easier or do something with. I don't know. But certainly, this is strong copy for those who are looking for very, very strong features that stand out. Okay, so this is both features and benefits, or really features, and then we don't see the benefits yet from here, but it's definitely for technology leadership. That's a big one. Lastly, you try to avoid confused messages. This is in the PDF as well. You don't want to be like this guy, this famous baseball player, Casey Stengel, who came up with messages that you read them and you have to read them again and again because they don't make any sense. Okay, things like the future ain't what it used to be. These are great. I never said most of the things I said. Okay, this is another good one. Half the lies they tell them about me aren't true. Or you can observe a lot by just watching. Cute things like that, which I don't know if he really said all of these things, but he was notorious for saying things that don't make a lot of sense. Here's another one. In theory, there's no difference between theory and practice. In practice, there is. The future ain't what it used to be, and we did that already. If you come to a fork in the road, take it. Okay, think about that one. Nobody goes there anymore. It's too crowded. Okay. Baseball is 90% mental, and the other half is physical. So there's another. Now there's all these examples of messages which are totally confused. They're illogical. Okay. Now sometimes messages are not that bad, but people will come up with ideas that don't really convey a very clear message, but it's kind of ambiguous, or there are messages that actually kind of contradict each other in the same copy, and that's a problem. In general, though, I want to mention that the messages that you come up with for a document should come after you've already decided on the objectives of the document, the objective. And then the message is the underlying idea that you want to convey. It usually goes along with the positioning. It's not the slogan, it's not the jingle, it's not the picture, it's not the story that you're going to tell exactly. Okay, it's not the actual copy. It's the underlying idea that you want to convey. Now, on top of that, once you get that, then you can go on to come up with a story or a picture or a slogan or a logo or something that will really convey that underlying message, whatever it is. Okay, and that's what's important. The idea is that once you formulate the objectives and the messages, then you can discuss these things openly with others in the company, and you can decide what's good and what's bad. Marcom is not just producing words and good stuff, but it's also getting along with clients. Clients are very sensitive about their company and about their product and about how they're represented. It's almost like trying to make a sketch or a painting of something for somebody, and they always say, well, that's not quite it, or that's not quite the expression we want, or that's this and that. You get that a lot. So therefore, this is one way. Coming up with something clear in terms of objectives, messages, is one way of getting the dialogue going with your clients, so you can narrow it down and get the exact copy that they'll like, and they'll be backing it up, and that's of course very important. If you just start out saying, okay, I'm going to write up something in here and this and that, and we're going to have a download button and I don't know what else, or a buy now button, that might not be what they want at all. That might not be what they need, and it might contradict their main marketing ideas and what they conceive as to be what's important, and you don't want to do that either. Okay, so the rest of this lecture then is pretty clear in the PDF itself.